Good morning, football. We're here live in New York City. Joining us right now is one of the fastest players to ever step on the football field. Trust me, I know. I went up against him. Former second-round draft pick, Conference USA Track Athlete of the Year out of the University of Houston. He went on to play 8 seasons at the cornerback position with the Raiders, Chiefs, and Texans, finishing his career with 12 interceptions, 55 PBUs. Please welcome to the breakfast table, Stanford Routt.
What up? What's up, man?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good.
Be on.
Of course, man. Appreciate you joining us. Now, you played 7 seasons with the Raiders. You know that team inside and out. Please tell the people on the West Coast, all the Raiders fans, what's going on with the Raiders?
Man, where do I begin? As much as it pains me to say this, I would have to say last year was the anomaly, not the norm.
Really?
I believe last year they had a lot of magic, a lot of fourth-quarter comebacks. Derek Carr, who I believe is the best quarterback in the NFL under 30, he was the magician. But as John Madden used to always say, if you find yourself always having to come back late in the fourth quarter, within the final 2 minutes, you're not going to go very far. And the defense, it's still an issue. Right. Obviously, mainly the secondary, they've not got it fixed. They try to sign guys like Sean Smith, draft guys like Gary and Conley, but obviously things just aren't, they don't seem like they're working out there. Khalil Mack and Bruce Urban are obviously the only bright spots within the defense. I believe they just wound up getting their first interception of the season a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And then as far as offense goes, they changed offensive coordinators. After going 12-4, Derek Carr had a breakout season.
Yep.
They fired Bill Musgrave. They signed, they promote Todd Downing from the quarterback coach to the OC. And it seems like he bought a new offensive scheme along with him. Now they're doing the zone blocking scheme, which I don't think best suits the offensive line or Marshawn Lynch, which brings me to my last point. I don't think they needed Marshawn Lynch. I think they could have just stayed with Latavius Murray, Rashard, and Washington, the same guys they had in the fold last year. Not to say that Marshawn Lynch still doesn't have anything left in the tank, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Tell us how you really feel.
Hymns right now.
Tell us how you really feel.
That was great. You said Derek Carr, best under 30. Yes. There's a lot of great quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, the list goes on and on. Why are you such a big believer in Carr, especially this year?
Well, I think it's his ball placement. And obviously his arm strength. He can make every throw on the field. And he's got that gunslinger mentality. That's the thing you love most about him. He has a little bit of Aaron Rodgers to him as far as his release. I remember there was a play last year against San Diego Chargers. It was just a simple speed out. But what was so great about the play was San Diego, they tried to pressure him. And they came with a free blitzer that was obviously about to hit Carr. But because he knew that Amari Cooper wasn't out of his break yet, instead of putting it on a line drive, he put some air up under it just so it would still get there at the right timing. And when you see plays like that, and obviously just that fearless mentality, to me, he's the best quarterback under 30. Maybe I'm still a homer because Oakland was my team, but I think that you'll be hard-pressed to find a quarterback that is definitively better than Derek Carr that's under 30 years old right now in the NFL.
Seen a lot of track stars in the league come in, and some of them flame out. Some of them just don't have the football skills. You're one of the rare stories where you came in as a track star, but were an NFL reliable veteran player. John Ross ran that 4.2 240, and everyone wanted to buy his jersey. Had 1 carry, fumbled, had no catches his rookie season. Do you see John Ross as a football player or as a speedster track star?
I think that he can be a viable player in this league. I think that he's got to be in an offensive system and a scheme that can use him the right way. I think the thing about football, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to this, Nate, is that football is not about who's the fastest. It's about who can run the fastest under control. And you look at guys like Antonio Brown, he's only about a 4.4, 4.5, but he runs that 4.4, that 4.5 in his pass route.
All the time,
The comeback, the dig, the slant, the post corner. And I think with a guy like John Ross, with him already having a miniature size, that already takes away some of the playmaking ability if he's going against a bigger corner. You're going against a receiver that's under 6 feet tall as a taller corner. You run down the field on a 9 route, the receiver pretty much disappears. The quarterback won't even try it. So you see guys like A.J. Green, Julio Jones, the bigger receivers. That's when the play really just begins. Just like one of your boys, Calvin Johnson, back in 2011.
Throw it up, let him go get it.
I had a matchup on him the whole game. And that's like the LeBron James. That's like the LeBron James of the NFL. Because not only when you're running with him, the quarterback still believes he can make a play because he's 6'5", he runs a 4.3 40, and with a guy like that running a 4.3, that's so much more effective than a guy who's 5'10", 5'9", running a 4.2 40. Because, like I say, you got to make a play on the ball, and if it's a short receiver, the quarterback just go to his next read.
A couple of those speedy wide receivers you're talking about are going at it for a big AFC West matchup on Saturday right here on NFL Network with Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs Then you've got Benjamin with the Chargers, and there's a lot at stake here. Who has the edge? Help us. All week we're debating who has the edge in this game. What do you think?
I'd say the team that's been hot so far. Over the last month or so, you got to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. Kansas City, they always start off the year hot.
Right.
Alex Smith, warm weather, not able to push the ball down the field. He's able to do that in warm weather climates. But I think now it's when the real football is played, November and December. And now that's when you see teams actually starting to scheme against players, not just other teams, offenses and defenses. Phillip Rivers, one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks. He can make every throw on the field. He trusts his arm, sometimes to a fault.
Yeah.
We all know that. They got the best pass rushing duo in the NFL in Bosa and Ingram. And I think that San Diego, they stubbed their toe, obviously, coming out the gate. But I think now they're ready. Yeah. And I think that they know that, hey, we stubbed our toe out the gate. But you know what? Everybody's kind of come back to the pack. So let's go ahead and take this thing.
0-4 is a big stub. That's that thing hurt. But.
It does.
And I think the loss of Eric Berry not only hurt them on the field, but in the locker room. Because when you see things like the debacle up there in New York with Marcus Peters at the end of the game, I think if Eric Berry is there, I don't think that you have that issue going on. Marcus Peters, obviously a great player, but I don't think he's ready to be a leader just yet. And even though they just signed Darrelle Revis, obviously, a couple weeks ago, Marcus Peters, he's the leader in that secondary. Young guy, already been to Pro Bowl, I believe, twice? So he's not ready to be that leader, and I think that's where they're missing the presence of Eric Berry in that locker room.
This is awesome, and we get Nate's perspective all the time as the receiver. It's so good to have the other side of that.
It's not always about you guys.
So I wanted to ask, you obviously follow the game very closely. Yes. I think even more than the receiver debate is the cornerback debate. We had Brandon Flowers on here. He gave his top 5, and Twitter went nuts. Yeah. Stanford Route, who are your top 5 cornerbacks in the NFL?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot. You're going to have my Twitter and Instagram blowing up.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, top 5 in no particular order because I don't think that there's truly a shutdown corner anymore.
Okay.
Darrelle Revis obviously just signed back with the Chiefs, but I don't think you have that Revis or that Asamoah from 2010, 2011 anymore. But in my top 5, no particular order, I would have to go with A.J. Boye. Playmaker, top guy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston should have never let him go, and now they're paying heavily for it. Obviously, you see Jacksonville leading the league in points per game given up, yards allowed, sacks, all of that. I think that him and Jalen Ramsey, they form a great duo. Next up, I got to go with Xavier Rhodes. Follows the opposing team's #1 receiver. He's doing great out there in that Zimmer defense, and obviously Minnesota is primed. Even though they're on their 3rd quarterback, I think Minnesota's primed for a deep run in the playoffs. Next up, you got to go with Darius Slay.
All right, I like that.
I like how he's been playing. He's got 5 picks this year for Detroit. Obviously, they're not where they want to be as far as a team, but Darius Slay has really come along over the last couple years.
Only a couple slots left, Stanford. Make them count now.
Nobody's arguing with those.
It's getting tight.
My last 2. One of my personal favorites, Chris Harris.
Harris, I like it.
Plays inside and outside. That versatility. He can play off. He can play up. He can come up. He can make tackles in the run game. And he's just got a fearless, no-holds-barred mentality. Now.
Last spot, bro.
What do you mean now?
What's going on?
Okay.
There's a lot of dudes out there barking right now that saying I better be on this list.
I know. Last, as far as right now. Marshawn Lattimore. I know he's a rookie.
I love it.
I know he's a rookie, and I know that he hasn't earned his keep yet. But I like the way he's been playing. He's got 3 picks this year. Played pretty good last week against Julio Jones. He gave up some plays, but he's young, and I think he's going to grow in this league. Made some pretty good plays. Didn't obviously shut down Julio Jones, but I think he more than held his own.
All right, so Akeem Talib, Jalen Ramsey, and
Patrick Peterson.
Richard Sherman.
They're all This is the danger. Casey Hayward, you guys at him right now.
No, absolutely. But we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
obviously Sherman. You always got to put him up there at the top, but he's on the shelf right now, so you can't exactly just put him in the top 5 right now.
Jalen is struggling right now.
You mentioned Calvin Johnson and going up against, and I've seen that battle live in person. Who was the hardest big man wide receiver that you had to go up against, and hardest small man guy you had to defend?
Okay. With big man, I'll start off with the same person who actually taught me exactly what receivers were going to give me problems in this league, Randy Moss. I remember back when I was a rookie, Moss used to always tell me, Route, the guys that are going to give you problems in this league are the big guys who can run. Because just like we talked about, going down the field, making a play on the ball, a quarterback actually trusting his receiver to go up and make a play. So the play just begins after you've already covered it. So if you're going down on a post or a 9 route, The play just begins
see
once
that
the
ball
ball is
come
now
over.
in the
Here
air.
we go again.
Yeah, if it's a shorter guy, all you got to do is cover him up.
Okay.
Quarterback go to his next read. But if it's a big guy, yeah, you got to make a play on there, or else he's going to moss you.
That's what's up, man.
As far as small guys, I would have to say that's a tie between Deion Branch.
Ooh.
I played against him my rookie
Okay.
year, opening game, right after he just won the MVP.
Super Bowl MVP, yeah.
Sure.
And then also Brandon Stokely.
Really?
Stokely was nasty, man.
Savvy vet. I remember
what's
when
up.
he was in Denver.
Yeah.
Him and Jay Cutler. I remember the only pass route he ran on third downs was get to the sticks.
Right.
That's all it was. It wasn't a slant. It wasn't a tog or
drop them
a
hips
press
on you in a
out.
second.
Exactly.
Get it every time.
That's
Forget
all it
about
was.
it.
It was just get to the sticks, turn around. Cutler's looking for him every single time.
That's what's up. Well, Stanford, we appreciate you joining us,
Yes,
bro.
thank you,
Thanks
guys.
for breaking it down and dropping some gems for us,
Watch
man.
your Twitter and
Hope
your
to have you
Instagram.
soon.
Love
on the
that.
show again.
Yes, sir.
Stand by that.